Isabel, welcome to the interview. Can you briefly introduce yourself?
So my name is Isabel. I'm in third year. I'm doing my Bachelor of Arts in Environment and my minor is Biology.
Can you talk a little bit about your high school background?
I went to an international school in Switzerland, so I did the IB, the International Baccalaureate. I had 3 higher levels: geography, biology, and English.
Can you describe how your program is built?
So it's kind of complicated. I didn't fully understand it at first, but the major environment exists in many faculties, so Faculty of Arts, Faculty of Science, Arts and Science, and the Faculty of Agricultural Sciences. And basically, once you're admitted to one of the faculties and you choose your major, you can choose a domain that you're the most interested in, so like what you're most passionate about. I have a list of all of the domains. All of the domains vary between faculties. So the domains are atmospheric environment and air quality, earth sciences and economics, biodiversity and conservation, ecological determinants of health, environmetrics, food production and environment, land surface processes and environmental change, renewable resource management, and water environments and ecosystems. I'm in the stream of ecological determinants of health, and it's like basically it's a concentration where there's different classes in between that you can choose from for each domain. And yeah, I guess you'll be put into a stream and you take whichever class. If you're like more interested in health or economics, you can take these streams.
Can you talk a little bit about the main topics you explore in the environment?
So in first year, there are the core courses that you have to take, and they're mostly like they're 200 level environment courses. They're required courses, but they're mostly on the general environment. 2 of them I think are environmental science, and 2 of them are mostly focused on like environmental ethics or environmental like thought. So these are like the more broad classes to introduce you to the environment, but then once you go more like in second year and third year, you really get to choose classes specific to your domain. For example, as I said, I'm in ecological determinants of health and society, so I can take a lot of classes based on global health, and like health geography was in one of my classes, and there's a lot of options based on what specific classes you take, but also you get to be with all of the environment majors, take the same classes at first.
Can you name one thing you like and one thing you dislike about your major?
One thing I like about my major is definitely the people. Well, at first, in first year, everyone is in like a pretty big class in one of the core courses that I mentioned before. But as you go in like second year and third year, the classes get smaller and you get to know people around you a little bit more. So, and everyone is really nice. So I think that, as well as I like that we get to pick our like what I'm interested in and that what stream I want to go to. So I think that's really interesting, and it like I have a lot of like freedom in what I get to choose. And one thing I dislike, I don't really have a lot of things that I dislike about my major, but one of the things that I think is kind of annoying is that well, not annoying, but some of the options of classes that I have to take are like agriculture and hydrology based, even though it's in the stream of ecological determinants of health. So I don't find like this is not my thing or like not my interest, but it depends on what you're interested in, obviously. So that's what I find the least interesting.
What kind of homework do you have, and how do you organize yourself to tackle it?
So it depends on what classes. I think for the most like the more sciencey classes are more based on final exams or labs, and I think those classes tend to be more time consuming. But then this year my classes are more essay based, or yeah, it just honestly depends on what types of classes I am taking, because one year I'll be taking a lot of exam based classes, and then one semester I'm taking a lot of essay based classes. To organize myself, I honestly just put everything onto like a physical calendar so I can see everything week by week, and then I try to, at least if there's like a major project coming out up, I try to like put some space, so I like give myself time so I don't like cram everything the night before. That would be ideal.
Can you give one piece of advice to a prospective student in your major?
An advice that I would give to prospective students in my major is honestly go to office hours and talk to profs and socialize with profs, because now I'm in the process of looking for an honors supervisor. It really helps if you have like connections and if you know them beforehand. So find a prof that you're really interested in and talk to them. Honestly, it sounds scary, but all the profs at McGill are very nice, so yeah.
Do you find it hard to balance school and your social life?
Well, personally, I don't think so, because I feel like you have to be organized, obviously, and like don't cram everything the night before, but I think that it's really easy to socialize and go out, and like be with your friends, like even at the library, or like talk like in between classes. I think everyone that's at McGill is always like on campus at some point, so like meeting with your friends to like socialize in between classes or like get lunch with them is pretty easy. And I think that also for like going out and stuff, really staying on top of your work and not ever letting everything pile up is really important to having a social life as well as like work-life balance.
What do you plan on doing after this degree? Do you want to continue in the same direction, maybe do a master's?
Well, I do want to get into something health related. I don't know about environment related, but I'm really interested in the effect of like the environment on health. So I think my plan is to maybe apply to law school or to apply for a master's in global health, to be determined. But I think usually people do a master's after. A lot of people that I know that are in environment do a master's relating to environment, but also it's so interdisciplinary that you can honestly do a lot of things with environment, because it's like an arts degree but also can be a science degree. So yeah.
Why did you choose this program and why did you choose McGill?
I chose this program because I was really interested into doing something health related, and first I wanted to apply to health studies or health sciences, but also I was really interested in like the effects of the environment on health. So McGill doesn't have like a health studies or like health science program, so I thought that was the closest that like my domain was the closest that it would get me to that. And honestly, I think that there are a lot of global health classes that I can take and a lot of like environmental health classes that I can take, so I think that's really like perfect and what I want to do. And as for McGill, I always wanted to go here, so I think that was like the goal since the beginning.
Was it hard for you to adjust to university life and to your classes?
Well, I think first semester is always the hardest, because it's so new, you're making friends and you're adjusting to the workload and things. But I think my advice, actually this relates back to the other question, but my advice is to take like a reduced workload, like 4 classes instead of 5, because I think that you're trying to like adjust to everything in the new city, so I think
it'll make your life easier.
Exactly.
Last question. How is the overall vibe in your classes and do you like it?
Yeah, I really like my classes, especially environment classes, or the classes that are smaller. Everyone's super nice. Everyone is very welcoming. Usually I'm more like introverted and don't participate in class, but when I do, I feel like everyone's super welcoming and everyone has always super smart things to say in class. And yeah, especially in environment, I think it's a very welcoming major like program, and it's one of the smaller programs, so I think you get to know a lot of people and see similar faces. So yeah.
Okay, amazing. Well, that's it for the interview. Thank you so much, Isabel.
You're welcome.